Welcome to Formative Live. I'm Dr. James Partyka. I'm a clinical pharmacist, research scientist, and the founder of Formative. And I want to shout out to people out there like Timothy and others like Jimmy and Alan. This is Formative Live, and this is our time to interact with each other. You can text me your messages, or you can send me an email at info@formative.com. Formative is all about connecting people and patients to healthcare professionals and scientists in order to educate ourselves so that we can make informed decisions about our healthcare decisions, our healthcare matters for yourself as well as for your family. That's Formative, and this is Formative Live, coming to you live from Palm Springs, California. Today's topic is we're going to talk about my top 10 tips for healthy weight loss. But before we begin, I want to thank our sponsors, Pride Nation Radio. Pride Nation Radio is the #1 LGBTQ dance music station in the nation. And not only does it have great uplifting music to dance to, but also to work out to as well. So please check out pnn.fm for your music to dance and work out to. And you can get that also available through pnn.one as well as through our PNN One Plus Health mobile app. That's Pride Nation Radio. And now it's time for Formative Live. You know, as a young adult, I was significantly overweight. And back then, way back then, there were very little information about healthy ways of which you can lose weight. So I had to do a lot of reading on my own, learn about metabolism and calories and weight loss. And I was able to keep the weight off for about 35 years. And then I sort of lost my momentum and lost my desire to keep that weight off. And I found myself, at a certain age, significantly overweight again, and working side by side with my doctor, my family medicine doctor, came up with a program which is actually free and doesn't cost you anything there at home on how to lose weight in a healthy way. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I just want to remind our viewers out there, acknowledging Stephen out there, Jimmy, Alan, and John, that again, you can text me your questions or comments, but you can also send them to info@formative.com. But being overweight, obesity is associated, as we know, with a lot of comorbidities such as cardiovascular disease, hypertension, diabetes, and even cancer, among others. Okay, so it's not just about being vain, it's also about being healthy, being active, and being productive on a daily basis with where you are at in life. For some people, it's just about losing, 10 or 15 pounds. For other people, it's about losing 50 or 75 pounds or more. Obesity is complicated. There are many different causes. A lot of them rely on alterations in your behavior, reaching out because of emotional stress or depression, coping mechanisms that we use food to satisfy ourselves so that we might forget temporarily our troubles, but in reality, we're just hurting ourselves because we're eating an unhealthy diet many times and gaining weight, which can lead to other comorbidities. So I might want to also add that we visited this topic initially a couple of years ago, and it was entitled Formative Weight Loss Plan, which goes into more detail. So you can obtain that link to the YouTube on the Formative Business webpage on Facebook, or you can go to Formative YouTube and search for our Formative Weight Loss Plan, or you can go to formative.com, which goes into more detail on how best to lose weight. Today, we're just going to give you 10 of my top tips, some of which you probably already know about and are already doing, and some of which maybe you might want to reach back in your past and bring it back up to the future to lose those pounds. Just want to say briefly that the Formative Weight Loss Plan, which doesn't cost you anything, okay, that's the great thing about Formative. It's forever free, okay, and none of our advertisements are ever sponsored by pharmaceutical or biotech companies. It really revolves around three steps. What are your calories in, calories out, so your caloric consumption, exercising, and behavioral modification. Okay? So the Formative Weight Loss Plan says look at your diet today or for the past 7 days. What are you consuming that are high in calories? Those are usually items that have a high amount of saturated fat or high in sugar. Those are the food items that you're going to slowly replace over time with healthier options. And what are those healthier options? The things that we know, the fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains, and lean meats. And you're going to slowly replace that high caloric diet with a diet which is healthier, which has less calories. And while we're doing that with modifying your diet, you're going to slowly be increasing exercise. Okay, and that can be in whatever form you find most convenient and most enjoyable for you. Walking, biking, swimming, jogging, working out at the gym, and so forth. Whatever exercise that you find healthy and convenient and you enjoy, do it. And you can start by doing it today. And you can do that 3 to 5 to 6 times per week, which will increase your caloric consumption. Okay? That will all lead to changing your diet slowly, increasing your exercise slowly, to behavioral modification, which is changing basically how you live your life on a daily basis. And human behavior is very difficult to change. That's why most diets to lose weight don't work, because they don't really address the fundamental need to change your human behavior. Okay, so that's what we really need to do. And we're going to do that by modifying our diet slowly over time, increasing our exercise slowly over time. And that's going to lead to a healthier you by changing your behavior, by increasing daily activities and consuming less high caloric food content. Now, I'm just going to quote you some numbers. The average female consumes between 1,600 to 2,400 calories per day. Okay, that's with their average daily activity levels. Okay, and the average male is 2,000 to 3,000 per day. Okay, that's a good number for you to write down in your notepad to know about. Okay, now if you increase your exercise a little bit more each and every day, you'll get an extra 200 to maybe 400 calories consumed per day. That'll allow us to reach our target goal. And what are those target goals? The Formative Weight Loss Plan is really about trying to consume 500 calories to up to 1,000 extra calories per day than you actually consume. So you burn more than 500 to 1,000 calories per day. Now realize that 3,500 calories is 1 pound of weight. So if you do that, you'll lose somewhere between 4 to 10 pounds per month. Okay? That's a healthy amount of weight loss. The fast weight loss programs actually just don't work because you're not modifying your behavior for a long period of time. You're modifying it for a short period of time, and you're not used to it, so you can't keep sustaining it. This is a gradual reduction in weight loss. People want everything now, and people want everything fast. But fast is not always better, right? That's what we're trying to do, is just lose between 5 to 10, 4 to 10 pounds of weight per month. And you're on your way. Okay, you're on your way. Okay, you're on your way. Now, there's a great website, and this is tip number 1. Health.gov, G-O-V, health.gov. Lots of information about activity levels, about healthy living, healthy aging. all available on one website, health.com. So I highly recommend that. And you can estimate how many calories you burn per day, how many calories if I jog for 30 minutes, or even your smartwatch may tell you all of that as well. And that'll give you a better approximation. So in the Formative Weight Loss Plan, you're going to keep track an approximate amount of calories burned each day. So at the end of the day, think about, okay, most packaging has the caloric count on the back of the package, or you can Google it. And so you should eventually build up. How much does a banana have? 100, 150 calories per day for the average size banana. How many calories does a baked potato have? You should eventually, after you start looking that up online, either through Google or through another search engine or through a website like health.gov, have an approximate idea of how much you've consumed. Today, I've only had one protein drink, which was 160 calories and some water. And I'm going to have breakfast. I think I had a banana too, so I'm up to 350 calories. And then at the end of the day, just in your notepad, going to say, this is how many calories I had per day, okay? Our goal, again, is to burn 500 calories or more plus per day, so that by the end of the week, you lose at least 1 pound, possibly 2 pounds. So by the end of the month, you're on your way to losing 4 to 10 pounds per month. It's going to be dependent upon your activity level and, of course, dependent upon what you're consuming. So here are the top 10 tips. Again, for more information, look up the Formative Weight Loss Plan, which is located on our Formative Business page, or go to Formative YouTube and look up that. It'll give you more information on how best to do it. Our ultimate goal is to change our daily living, or change our human behavior so that we lose the weight gradually. Okay, so number one was health.gov, or your favorite resource for information about healthy weight loss. Number two is, my favorite is, throw away the diet pills. They just don't really work, okay? They're expensive, they have some side effects, and they really don't work, and eventually you're gonna have to come off your diet pills. So just throw them all away, and let's go for healthy eating and healthy exercise. Number three, track on a daily basis the total number of calories you consume per day. So if you're female, all right, and your average is about 1,500 to 2,000 calories per day burned, you may want to go on a 1,200 calorie diet per day. That's slightly aggressive, but it is doable. So that's what you want to target. So by the end of the day, each day, you're going to add up how many calories you consume and come up with, sometimes it'll be 1,200, sometimes it'll be 1,400. There are good days, there are bad days. It's okay. And it's okay to cheat. You cheat, you satisfy a craving, and you go right back on your diet. All right? It's all about having a positive attitude, but it's also about believing in yourself. I know that when you're at a certain weight level, it seems almost impossible. But if you believe with your heart, your mind, and your soul that you can lose the weight, as you get to some of your short-term goals of 10-pound weight loss, 20-pound weight loss, you're going to start feeling much better about yourself. And guess what? You can reward yourself with something very positive in your life. Like, say, for example, a new item of clothing, a new shirt or a new blouse or a new pair of shoes and stuff like that. Reward yourself with something other than food. Okay. So we're going to track our calories per day, and we're going to record that on our notepad. Now, for me, I'm 6'2". I try to stay less than 1,800, but my real goal is 1,500. So somewhere between 1,500 to 1,800 calories per day. And I exercise about 5 times per week of different forms, whether that be the gym, power walking, jogging, biking, and so forth. Do the things you love to do. Then it doesn't seem like work, does it? Okay, keep track of your total calories on your notepad on your phone. Okay, I believe in a weekly weigh-in, okay? And it's usually do it in the morning, the same day, approximately the same time. Weigh yourself in, Write that down your notepad so you can track that over time. And if your goal is first to lose 10 pounds, then you want to celebrate that goal when you get to 10 pounds of weight lost. Celebrate it. And celebrate that with friends and family or something like that. Or by buying something fun that might actually increase your exercise level, maybe a new bicycle. Treat yourself to something good when you reach your short-term goal, okay? And then you have a long-term goal, what you want to get to, which I generally shoot for 10 pounds above what the formula is for ideal body weight. Because when you look at those formulas for BMI and ideal body weight, these formulas are really stringent and strict. And there's just, it's almost sort of unhealthy. There's a fine balance you want. So, my target goal is 195. I'm 6'2". That's a good healthy weight. I have a few extra pounds at 195 in case I get sick, but you can determine what your ultimate goal weight is and keep track of it. And once you reach that goal, you really want to celebrate it and throw a party for yourself. Okay. So weekly weigh-ins. Number 5. I'm a firm believer that when you wake up in the morning, you want to drink a full glass of water. Because as you're sleeping throughout the night, you're becoming dehydrated, right? And you may not, you'll feel groggy in the morning, right? And you may not feel great. And when you have that first full glass of water, it rehydrates yourself and just makes you give a little bit more energy and pep to the rest of your day. You want to keep your metabolic rate up high, so for me, I'm an early morning person, so I like to exercise in the morning. And once I exercise, it keeps my metabolic rate high for the rest of the day. Okay, number 6, try to eat only when you're hungry and not when you're emotionally distraught, stressed, or bored. Listen to your body, in other words, okay? If you're craving something, maybe it's because you're lacking a certain mineral. People that are low on iron crave meat. There are different kinds of cravings. You want to replenish and satisfy some of those cravings because it may mean that you're lacking a particular mineral in your diet. So listen to your body and eat when you're hungry, not when you're bored or depressed. That's getting into that bad negative behavior of eating because you're emotionally distraught. You want to get away from that. And you want to get away from that, what we were raised with, that you have to have 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe perhaps it's better for you to have 5 smaller meals. That's nothing new. It's what really works for you. But I constantly say this to my friends and family out there. It's all about calories in and calories out. Period. All these fad diets, the keto diet, the mumbo jumbo diets, the branding, the commercial products out there, all of it is to sell you things that you don't really need. Bottom line is the claims and the branding on the boxes, all that stuff. It's really simple. Believe it. It's simple. Calories in, calories out. For me, I'm on a 1,500 to 1,800 calories per day. I'm a male. And for females, it should be somewhere between 1,200 to 1,500 calories per day. Again, it depends upon what you do for work. It depends on your activity levels. You have to make those decisions. And if you go to health.gov, you can get more information to determine not only what your ultimate weight goal, your ideal body weight should be, but how much you're expending in calories per day based upon your activity levels. I already said number 7. It's okay to cheat. Just go right back on your diet. It's okay. It's okay. And when we're talking about a healthy diet, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean meats, and minimize your alcohol intake. So I looked this up last night in preparation for today. A shot of vodka or a shot of tequila, which has more calories. They're the same, about 70 calories. So I think it's a misnomer when people think that one has less calories than the other. A glass A 5-ounce glass of red or white wine is about 120 calories. And whiskey, a shot of whiskey is, if I remember correctly, about 100 calories. Of course, it depends on the type of brand and so forth. Alcohol has a lot of empty calories. So you really need to start thinking about cutting back. Do you really want to drink that much and feel bad the next day, which is going to prevent you from going to the gym? Because it breaks your morale. It breaks your motivation level, right? So I'm strongly encouraging my family and friends here on the East Coast and in the Palm Springs area to cut back on the alcohol, maybe to just Friday nights or Saturday nights, 1 or possibly 2 glasses, and that's it. Okay, because it's a lot of calories, it's a lot of empty calories, and it breaks your morale and motivation level to really lose the weight you want to lose by increasing your activity levels. Number 8 is simple. Exercise at least 4 to 5 times per week, and that's by doing anything you find fun, just by power walking or walking. You know, today or yesterday we did the 3 to 4 mile power walk, and we checked out a number of sites with Modernism Week here in Palm Springs, California. It was a beautiful day, it was great weather, and I got my exercise in for the day. It doesn't have to always be, intense working out 45 minutes at the gym. Okay, if that's what you love to do, great. Okay, but it can be just going to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, 1 to 3 times a week, and then everything else in between. But try to exercise approximately 5 times per week. Number 9, utilize healthy snacks, veggies, fruits. I rely a little bit too much probably on protein bars. It just helps me get the protein I need for the day. You need protein to balance the sugar in your diet, okay? So you need a certain amount of protein per day, and you can look up those requirements on health.gov. I also like as a snack popcorn with minimum oil and minimal butter, but it's high in fiber. It's got a lot of air in it, and I find it very satisfying. So if you increase your fiber per day, that's very helpful in curbing your hunger, and it's a great snack. So healthy snacks. You want to stay away from fat on fat, okay? So in other words, even though we love it, like cheese fries is one of my favorite things, or nachos, but you're talking about fat in the fries or fat in the chips, and then you're talking about cheese, more fat on fat. You want to stay away from fat on fat because it's really way too high in calories. In fact, you could probably consume your entire days of calories in one big bowl of nachos. So, just leave it to me. Avoid fat on fat. And number 10, again, I've already spoken to it. Reward yourself when you achieve your short and long-term goals. When you lose about 20 pounds, again, it depends upon whether you're petite or whether you're tall. It depends on your body type. But when you lose approximately 20 pounds or more, that's when you're going to start getting compliments, and people are going to want to know your secret. And the secret is simple. Calories in, calories out. Increase your exercise, change your behavior. That's the secret. And you don't have to buy anything, and you don't have to buy any diet pills because it's a waste of money. So reward yourself when you achieve these short-term goals. So a short-term goal of mine is always 10 pounds to get to my ultimate target goal. Okay, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. Believe with your heart, your mind, and soul that you can do this, right? Whatever amount of weight that you lose at the end of the week is a success story in and of itself. Starting today is a success story in and of itself. You may not be, by the end of your weight loss journey, super thin, looking like Brad Pitt, but you may start looking like someone a little bit hunkier, and that's just fine too, right? Same if you're a woman. You've got to have realistic goals. You've got to have self-awareness and self-actualization of who you are as a person. And where do you feel in this spectrum of weight the best in your life? I can tell you I just lost 33 pounds over the last 6 months, and I feel really, really good and motivated to lose the rest of it. And I'm going to keep doing it until I get to my goal weight. It's really a challenge, but even when you're at your goal weight, every day you still have to think about what are you consuming, what are you burning in calories, and how much do you think you burnt more at the end of the day than you took in? Or are you about equal? Equal to me is a successful day. If I consumed, 2,000 calories, but I burned 2,000 calories, okay, that was a neutral day. That's okay. I'll take that one, right? And then next day I'll start a little bit harder and so forth. I also find, and this was tip number 11, I'm giving you a bonus tip out there to Tad, Stephen, Timothy, Jimmy, and Joe out there. The bonus tip is intermittent fasting. I'm experimenting with that. And by intermittent fasting, for me, between the hours of 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., that's when I'll eat. And then I try and stop eating and just go to like sparkling water with that's flavored with lime or lemon or something else afterwards, and then I start all over the next day. So it's about 8 hours of eating and then 16 hours of fasting. That might help you jumpstart your weight loss, or if you reach a plateau in your weight loss, you might want to go to intermittent fasting, and you can do that like 12 on, 12 off, 16 hours off and 8 hours of eating, and it's finding out what works for you based upon what your employment is, based upon what your daily activities are. But intermittent fasting is also a way that you might be able to jumpstart if you're sort of at a plateau and you're not losing the kind of weight that you want. That's it for today. This is Formative Live. I'm Dr. James Partyka, and until I see you next time, stay healthy, as it's easier to prevent disease than to treat human disease. See you next week.